Ontario has been testing more than 20,000 people every day recently, as the total numbers now top more than 1.1 million tests completed. But that is putting a strain on the labs and workers who are processing the tests. And joining us now with more on this is Michelle Hoad, CEO of Medical Laboratory Technicians Association of Ontario. Always great to speak with you.
Great. Good morning.
So let's talk about the latest situation. I mean, from our end, we like to see these test numbers continue to go high. It really paints a picture of the amount of cases that are popping up every day. But we all know that puts more strain on you and your employees. So what's the latest on your end? How bad are things?
Well, right now, I think there is a certain sense of relief just amongst the entire province that we've hit 1 million tests. So we're headed in the right direction. And there's been a lot of focus in the media and from the government on our systems. So looking at the infrastructure, some of the conversations is we're still faxing at the labs. We're still entering that data. And one thing we seem to miss talking about is the actual human element of this all. So our lab professionals, so our medical lab technologists, our medical lab assistant technicians, started this pandemic short-staffed. So we need the conversation to start changing. So we start talking about how is this affecting the actual lab personnel that are working. And it's extremely important because as we are all talking about, there is going to potentially be a second phase. And in the future, what's this going to look like? Right now, we're dealing 44% of our medical lab technologists eligible to retire in the next 4 to 8 years. If we lose half of that workforce already short-staffed, it's going to get really complicated.
You know, Michelle, we've talked about this for the last couple of months, you and I on the weekend, and we talked about the staffing shortages, but we've also talked about, you know, the possibility of fast-tracking some of these university and college students who are eager to get into some of these labs to start their careers, and I'm wondering what's happening on that end. Why haven't we heard much from the province to try and fast-track some of these individuals who, quite frankly, are eager to not only get the training, but just to start their careers in your field?
Yeah, it's a really great question, Jamie. So the MLT program is actually 3 years. There's 5 locations in Ontario that offer the program. So Windsor, Toronto, Oshawa, Kingston, and Windsor and Sudbury is the last location. So in order to enter that program, you need to apply. And right now at every program, there is a wait list to get in. So what we need the Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities to take a look at providing more funding to those schools so we can open up more seats. It really is a bottleneck with what's happening. So the example is this year, I think there were 166, I think is my estimate number, that have graduated. There are potentially 600 to 800 people that are going to retire. So the number of folks coming in and the number retiring do not match right now.
And given the fact that we're now seeing some beautiful weather, there's a lot more people that are heading out. We're starting to see some parts of the province reopening. You know, that's great for the economy, but that also puts people at risk for contracting COVID-19 once they start to venture out into the public. And I'm just curious, you know, what are some of your immediate concerns, given that we're starting to head into this next phase, and as you talked about, even worries in the fall of the second phase as well?
I think the immediate concern is really thinking about the people that are working in the lab. So this morning, for example, on some of our social media pages, we are having our AGM today, and there's some folks that said they can't attend because they're working. Some people are working 6 straight days, 24/7. I think, you know, trying to hit the 28,000 numbers that we've been hitting almost the last 7 days it's going to take a toll. These are everyday people. They're like you and I. They get up, they go to work. They require specific concentration when they are looking for information, and we don't want them tired and we don't want them stressed. So my concern is that if we don't start to seriously change the conversation around the need of increasing medical lab technologists in healthcare, we may be looking at a much larger problem in 2 years from now.
Well, let's hope some people from the province are listening to that message, and we appreciate the work that your lab technicians do, and we appreciate your time this weekend as always. CEO of Medical Laboratory Technicians Association of Ontario, Michelle Hoad, thanks again. Have a great day.
Have a good day.